نو 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 سلكم جامي وصلت القمة.
إيزابيل كتقدم لكم أفضل تون ماتيشا. إيزابيل عبر على حبك بطريقتك.
a tornar cap a Catalunya, jugar.
He made it quite obvious, I think, that he doesn't really want to play there either. He was a number 9, but certainly playing as a very false 9 because he never really played as a striker. He's not somebody who's going to show up. He certainly doesn't want to play with his back to goal. I think he's somebody who wants to get the ball in and around the centre circle, turn and run at defences. It's very hard to do that when you're supposed to be playing as a striker. Look, Real Madrid is exponentially better and a completely different side with Benzema in it. He's a talent, a true talent, we know that. And we've seen that from his goals last season, not only domestically, of course, in La Liga, but also in the Champions League as well, when they seem to be behind in nearly every game, whether it be in the first leg, whether it be in a specific game itself. And then just that self-belief this squad has got, and they've kept most of those players as well.
And maybe the biggest transfer story is the transfer that didn't happen this summer for Real Madrid. We all thought Kylian Mbappe was going to be the new number 9 coming in. That did not materialise, but there's been no panic from Carlo Ancelotti or anybody else at Real Madrid. They are determined, they say, this time to get the right man and prepared to wait. And they feel like Karim Benzema, although 34 years of age, still has a couple of years left at the very top of European football.
It does. That's a fact, isn't it? As long as he steers clear of injury, and we don't know anything about that, of course, it can be bad luck. He could get injured tonight, could get injured in the first game of La Liga season, but we don't want that to happen to him because I think, first and foremost, we're all football fans. Whether we're neutrals or not, whether we're Liverpool fans or Man City fans or Juventus fans, you want to see the best players on show. And Benzema is one of those players, that's for certain. I hope he stays fit, stays healthy, and of course has a season very similar to last.
And Real Madrid fashionably late to the arrival in the tunnel to come out on the field. And I guess when you're European champions, everybody will wait for you, right?
We have to wait for them, don't we? That's for certain. If we didn't wait for them, it wouldn't be much of a game, that's for certain. But Juventus, yes, they were there waiting, as they should be in the tunnel. But yeah, Real Madrid, all in purple at the moment. Yeah, very, very late to the scene.
San Francisco on Tuesday night, there was a pretty even spread in terms of fan bases. Club America, massive following all over California. Tonight, I think it's safe to say, Juventus fans severely outnumbered. Real Madrid are the team in this region. The fans come out in force, and we're expecting a sellout 90,000 plus inside the Rose Bowl this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I was lucky enough to be in Dallas for Barcelona against Juventus, and similar to tonight, on that occasion, the only Juventus shirts in the Cotton Bowl were the ones on the field. There weren't any anywhere else. So yeah, very much a Barcelona-heavy crowd on that night in Dallas, and very much this evening a very Real Madrid-heavy crowd here today.
Leonardo Bonucci, the skipper now for Juventus, Giorgio Chiellini, has, of course, moved on to actually playing in this city now at LAFC. His teammates went to support him last night. But for Real Madrid, they're just a couple of months removed from a Champions League win. And guess what? It's the same 11 tonight for Carlo Ancelotti that lifted that title in Paris.
And that's no surprise. You've said they're 1 week further ahead, aren't they, than Juventus? Juventus still have another friendly to play. So no surprise that Real Madrid, this is the starting 11. This is the best 11 on show for Carlo Ancelotti and Real Madrid.
And if you're to believe some of the press recently, Militao and Vinicius Jr. about to tie the long-term futures to Real Madrid as well, with new long-term contracts expected to be announced when they get back to Spain. The other side of things for Juventus, a mix of youth and experience for them tonight. The big news, no Szczesny and goal. Perrin will step in. What else stands out for you in this lineup?
Well, for me, it's that pairing of Bonucci and Bremer. They paid an awful lot of money, nearly $50 million for Bremer from Torino. We know Torino's very au fait with Serie A, of course, having played for Torino. So this is a big pairing, and one as a former centre-half. I want to see how they're going to gel, Bremer and Bonucci.
Max Allegri, so much success in his first spell at Juventus. He did lose a Champions League final to Real Madrid. We'll talk a little bit more about that throughout tonight's matchup. But he's come back, and, well, they say you should never go back, and so far it's been difficult for Max Allegri to get Juventus back to the very pinnacle of Serie A.
I thoroughly agree. It's been really difficult. They've been 16 points behind Milan last season, 14 points behind Inter, even 9 points behind Napoli. That is so far from success for a team of the magnitude of Juventus that it's not even funny. And maybe Allegri will tell you, as hindsight, maybe you shouldn't have come back. I think this is a massive season for Allegri and Juventus Football Club.
On the other side of things, Carlo Ancelotti, a little over 12 months ago, was on Merseyside. He was the Everton manager after a mid-table finish, and all of a sudden, he's back at the very top of the game and managing Real Madrid to an historic double.
Well, what a massive fall from grace from Everton to Real Madrid and La Liga champions and Champions League champions as well. Yeah, who'd have thought it, leave Everton Football Club, and that's what happens.
Our match referee today is Michael Ranchuk. Real Madrid, looks like they are going to kick things off. It's Canary who get to wear the black and white strip. They'll be attacking from left to right. Luka Modric, 36 years young and still going strong. He gets us
doing what Benzema does best.
Incredible. It certainly wasn't the goal scorer. I think it was the ball before that where Valverde went in behind. Alaba, Casemiro. David Alaba, who's won 10 Bundesliga titles, comes across the Real Madrid and wins a La Liga title. Ball back for Thibaut Courtois, who was rested for that San Francisco matchup. And then the young Ukrainian goalkeeper, and Lucas Canizares, the son of Santi Canizares, the famous Spanish goalkeeper, both played. Lucas Canizares almost had a penalty save against Fidalgo as well, laid on in that one. Modric, Militao, Cruz. Ball out wide. There's too much on the pass further forward. Ferland Mendy and Vinicius, who not the winning goal. Manny, I think it's safe to say with Vinicius, he's won over his teammates. There was times you could sense frustration from some of the veteran midfielders, but as the season went along, he became a lot more consistent, culminating in that all-important goal in Paris.
Yeah, I think so. I think he flattered to deceive at times early on in his Real Madrid career, but I agree, last season he really came of age. And as you say, it doesn't culminate any better than that, does it? In that winning goal in the Champions League final.
Angel Di Maria against his former club, winning a corner kick. He was fondly welcomed by some of the Real Madrid faithful here. I remember his time. Just went on to PSG and now trying to force his way into the Argentina squad for the upcoming World Cup, which I still have not got used to saying the Winter World Cup.
Please don't ever get used to it.
Whipped in Courtois, who was man of the match in Paris a couple of months ago. Comfortable, but then almost gave it away. Vinicius with a chance to go forward. This ball inside for Benzema. Scored an absolutely world-class goal against Club America. Valverde, Modric. Valverde, the play again from Real Madrid. They look really on the game here early on.
Yeah, very much more on the game for me, just as you say that. Of course, commentators curse, they give the ball away, but you are right. They started well early on, obviously had that goal disallowed inside the first 15, 16 seconds. But certainly against Barcelona, they were very much second best. Not only because they didn't have a shot on target, not only because they didn't dictate and dominate possession, but Barcelona really squeezed high on Real Madrid, and they really struggled to break that pressure, Real Madrid, which is pretty much a surprise for a side of the quality and the technical ability of Real Madrid. But of course, it wasn't this 11 on show against Barca.
Valverde, Carvajal. Some managers would get a little bit flustered when they lose a Clásico, but not Mr. Ancelotti.
Nothing flusters him, that's for certain. He's been there, done it, seen everything.
Valverde, he's been really lively so far. And he's won a free kick here. Locatelli goes across and he's pleading his innocence. It did look like there was contact.
Well, there was certainly a little bit of contact, but also it's not the sort of challenge you want to see in pre-season. Valverde obviously with some nice tight control. Then you see that challenge. It's a poor challenge from Locatelli, and luckily Valverde's foot wasn't planted, otherwise that could have been a little bit nasty. You never want to see that type of challenge, certainly not in pre-season. But of course, we're getting closer. The players want to have those 50-50 tackles, but they certainly don't need that type of leg break almost. It certainly had the propensity to be from Locatelli.
This is a long way out, but Toni Kroos, the obvious right-footed option. Alaba is known to go for goal from this distance. Instead, they've gone a training ground routine to Valverde, and it's gone horribly wrong.
It certainly was something they've worked on previously, of course. But to hit that moving ball coming across you as it was for Valverde, it's a tough skill. Certainly one he's managed in training, of course, time after time. But it didn't happen here on match day.
Bremer goes to Mathieu Perret. Half-time Genoa goalkeeper. Modric. Gives it away cheaply. Then it goes back to Bremer. You can hear the chants. No doubt about who the favourites of the fans are here in Pasadena. Modric. Back in the right position. Lovely dummy from Benzema, and almost too quick for Vinicius.
Absolutely, 100%. He was just thinking one move ahead. Vinicius wasn't on the same wavelength.
He's got another opportunity. Saka with a really cheap giveaway. Vinicius going at two defenders, and he's just run into them. Good play from Bonucci, just dropped off. That was a let-off for Juventus, who've given the ball away cheaply on a couple of occasions now. Just trying to calm things down for Juve in the middle of midfield. Dusan Vlahovic. Bonucci.
It's a couple of times now, isn't it, in quick succession. Bonucci, I don't quite want to say he's shown his experience, but he has shown that ability to read the game that we know he has. As you've mentioned a little bit earlier on, Keith, no more Chiellini. I just envisage those two guys being sat together in the training ground, in the dressing room, on the back of the bus playing cards. I just think those guys have been on the same wavelength for year upon year. Now he needs a new partner, and he's found one in Bremer.
Modric. Good movement from Benzema. He just drops into that pocket, turns and faces up. Absolute nightmare for a centre-back to play against.
Well, a centre-back needs help from the player playing in that holding midfield position ahead of them, because that's what he loves to do, Benzema. Drop 5-10 yards off those centre-halves. That's when you need Locatelli to be playing on his toes. That's all down to communication as well. The communication has to come from Bremer and from Bonucci in telling Locatelli exactly where Benzema is going. If he does it again.
Yeah, Benzema again finding a pocket. Valverde again trying to find Benzema. That one's well cut out. It might not make Juventus feel any better, but pretty much every team has had the same issue with trying to lock down that space that Benzema will exploit.
And I think he's just one of those players that you know exactly what he's going to do, but it's still tough to stop. It's like Bayern Munich and Iron Robben, when Robben used to cut in from the right-hand side and curl it into that top corner, or Carlos Vela at LAFC. You know exactly what he's going to do. It's hard to stop sometimes. When players have that much quality, they've seen everything defensively, and it remains really hard for them to stop it. And Benzema, just sheer class. World class, you called it, I agree.
She with a cheap giveaway moments ago, and Real Madrid again on the front foot. Carvajal. Casemiro. Kroos. Modric. Carvajal staying very high, as Lucas Vázquez did against Club America in that right-back position. Kroos. Really young midfielders now, Real Madrid, and Aurelien Tchouameni and Camavinga. You wonder if that's the future. Tell Toni Kroos and Luka Modric that.
It's certainly the future, but it's one that Toni Kroos hopes is the future in 2 or 3 years' time, rather than this season or next, that's for sure. Tchouameni and Camavinga are undoubted talents.
And then again, just a little bit too much on it from the young Brazilian, who hasn't had the best start on that left-hand side. Locatelli. Of course, Juventus do have in the ranks US international Weston McKennie in midfield as well.
It's been a shame, hasn't it, on this sort of pre-season tour, this pre-season tour that we haven't seen him.
Playing that ball for Sandro, gets in behind. Sandro gets his cross in, flick towards the far post. And cleared by Ferland Mendy. That was much better from Juventus, and it was a marauding run forward from the left-back, Alexandra, that started it.
Yeah, we're 10 minutes into the game. That's really the first time that Juventus have caused any problems for this back line of Real Madrid.
Bonucci. Locatelli goes back to Bonucci. First time Real Madrid have been back into their own half of the field. Zakaria, the former Borussia Mönchengladbach midfielder. Bremer. Sandro. Locatelli. This is better from Juventus, but good pressure as well. Well played to get out of that pressure. Now there's options on for Juve. Vlahovic, and that one just behind her. It wasn't a foul. Yes, it was. Free kick in a really good position. Good run from Dusan Vlahovic.
It's Fagioli who's been fouled. And again, it's another one of those sliding challenges. Because he's slightly out of position here, Casemiro absolutely nowhere near the man. Well, nowhere near the ball, rather, very near to the man. Just lifts that right leg as Fagioli's trying to jump over him. It's a yellow card in a game, that is for certain, in a real game that's not a pre-season friendly.
Two options further forward as well. Vlahovic and Di Maria had made a really good run too. Now it's going to be a free kick, and this may well be in shooting distance. Allegri watching on.
Well, at least you have to believe here that this will be a direct shot. So 26, 27 yards out here. Left footer and right footer over the ball.
Sandro and Bonucci. See if Bonucci's pulled rank here. Let's go for goal, and it's off the woodwork.
But it's certainly not very often that a centre-half can call off the forward player. If this is another couple of yards out, this may just dip down and hit the target. This one just grazes the top of the bar from Bonucci.
The high press continues here. That's much better again from Juventus. And this one might fall for them. Chance. Thibaut Courtois down, and it's a complete miss-hit of a shot. Zakaria breaking in from midfield. It's going to be a goal kick, but it was mistakes at the back from Real Madrid that opened things up. And it really should have been punished.
They should be. And this is how they struggled, Real Madrid, against Barcelona. Here, Vlahovic just gets in the way of Zakaria. He wanted it. He's a centre-forward, Vlahovic. Even though his back's to goal, he wanted to get on that rebound. But he shouldn't have. Vlahovic should have just got out of the way. Then Zakaria, for me, would have hit the target without a shadow of a doubt. But Real Madrid, tonight, they have the starting 11 we would expect. Hasn't played together, certainly in this pre-season.
Juventus absolutely caught napping. Vinicius made a really good run, not offside because it's a throw-in. Finds Benzema, well defended. Zakaria got back in and made the challenge. Lovely piece of industry from Vinicius to recognise that high defensive line.
That's just a number of players caught ball watching, players of the quality of Bremer and Bonucci caught ball watching. Quite remarkable.
At full stretch, and is this one going to go out and play for a corner? Yes, it is. Fascinating match so far. Really good start from Real Madrid. Juventus have responded.
It's not just about a quarter of an hour in and we've got a real football match on our hands, and we shouldn't be surprised about that when you've got two giants of football like Real Madrid and Juventus. And as you've mentioned, just days away from that first game, that first true competitive game for Real Madrid.
Bruce goes for Vinicius. Bruce back for Modric. Twists and turns, gets it on his left foot. Never had enough purchase on it to really trouble Carvajal. Valverde goes onto his left foot and over hits the cross. And a play for the Juventus goal kick.
Yeah, I agree. I think the cross is overhit, but also I think there'll be the expectancy from Valverde that someone will be pulling around that back post, and nobody is. Everybody had congregated in between the goalposts. Nobody, Vinicius Junior, would expect him just to drop off and maybe curl a run towards that back stick. Nothing happened though. Just made Valverde's cross look way overhit.
Sides have tried to press when the opportunity presents itself. Really warm day today in California, but cooling down now here as the sun sets in Pasadena. Very nice touch for Bonucci. Bremer. Nice ball forward. Surely. Di Maria, good challenge, really good tackle. Benzema, Casemiro. Modric. Benzema again just drifting and trying to pick out a pass for Vinicius. Really good read from Bonucci, but we're seeing every facet of Karim Benzema's game. Not just a goal scorer, he can be a provider as well.
Yeah, and I was lucky enough to watch that El Clasico in Las Vegas, and it was a Benzema-less Real Madrid side, and it is that kind of ability, that type of player to drop a little deeper, find pockets of space that they missed on that evening. Certainly aren't missing it here. It's probably the best player for me so far, Karim Benzema for Real Madrid.
Valverde. Benzema. Being the real danger man so far again. He just seems to find a way to turn and face up against the opposition. Bruce.
كتقدم لكم أفضل تون بماتيشا. إيزابيل، عبر على حبك بطريقتك.
يستفز كريم ببعض الحركات. انتبه يا برين، لا كريم بنزيما هو الحكومة، لا والله هو رئيس منظمة حقوق الإنسان والسرور لعشاق ريال مدريد. وهنا الفرحة واضحة على جماهير ريال مدريد الحاضرة في ملعب روزابول في كاليفورنيا. هنا لقطة الجزاء، لقطة واضحة وصريحة يا دانييلو، ما تحتاج الاعتراض. وهذا التدخل أدى إلى هدف أول في مرماك، وبتسديدة قوية ومن كريم. حاول أن يستفز كريم بيرين، لكن بيرين استقبل الهدف الأول من كريم، وبالتالي هدف أول في اللقاء لمصلحة الريال مدريد. كرة رمية تماس تبعد عن طريق كاسيميرو. 20 دقيقة والله مرت بسرعة. 20 دقيقة لم نشعر بها، للإثارة، للسرعة، للفرص. لكن قبل ركلة الجزاء اليوفي كان أقرب، لكن ريال مدريد وما أدراك ما ريال مدريد، يعني في بعض المرات وشاهدنا الموسم الماضي يعني في مباراة أمام باريس سان جيرمان بالتحديد مباراة الإياب، كيف كانت المباراة رايحة للنادي الباريسي، لكن من خلال ما يقارب أقل من ربع ساعة عاد الريال وأي عودة بالتأهل. كرة الآن كريم بنزيما إلى توني كروز، الجوهرة البيضاء إلى لوكا مودريتش. يعني ريال مدريد يعني فكر وعمل على تدعيم خط الوسط من خلال التعاقد مع لاعبي شباب الموسم الماضي، يعني تعاقد مع كامافينجا وهذا الموسم مع تشاوميني، ويحاول الفريق يعني التعاقد مع مهاجم يكون بديل لبنزيما. هنا تمريرة من زكريا لكن الكرة مرت من بايغولي من مويسكين ومن دوشان فلاوفيتش لتذهب الكرة إلى ركلة مرمى لمصلحة ريال مدريد. هذا هو أليجري. يا أليجري عليك بالكثير من أجل تغيير طريقة اللعب، من أجل الهجوم. تمرير الآن مويس جهة اليسار يبحث عن مرور، يحاول ما بينه وبين لاعب ميليتاو. بالنهاية الغلبة والتفوق حضر للمدافع القوي والشرس إيدير ميليتاو. الموسم الماضي ريال مدريد بعد أن قام ببيع سيرجيو راموس وفاران الكل توقع أن ريال مدريد سوف يعاني على المستوى الدفاعي، يعني حتى أنه كان ميليتاو يعني لم يظهر بشكل جيد، وبالتالي يعني أشد المتفائلين لم يكن يتوقع أن يظهر ميليتاو بهذا الأداء القوي، الأداء الدفاعي. أضف إلى ذلك استقطاب المدافع الآخر دافيد ألابا. الكل يعرف أنه ألابا هو مدافع على جهة اليسار، لكن كارلو أنشيلوتي زج به في أكثر المباريات في قلب الدفاع، وبالتالي الانتفاضة الكروية بل الأداء القوي كان حاضر على المستوى الدفاعي للريال مدريد، حتى وأن غاب سيرجيو راموس وفاران. بيرين ليوناردو بونوتشي كرة عالية، دوشان فلاوفيتش، الكرة صافرة وخطأ في المنتصف. 23 دقيقة من الشوط الأول. مشاهدينا ومتابعي قناة الرابعة الرياضية، النتيجة واضحة أمامك عزيزي المشاهد. تابع قناة الرابعة الرياضية عبر الوطن العربي الكبير. مباراة اليوفي والريال مدريد، الريال متقدم بهدف مقابل لا شيء سجلها كريم بنزيما من ركلة جزاء. كرة تصل إلى ميليتاو بالخطأ. لوكاتيلي المهارة حاضرة، يبحث عن تمرير، زيادة عددية أيضا إلى دي ماريا يحاول مهارة احتفاظ بالكرة، المتابعة إلى دوشان لكن لا وجود. تعود ساندرو إلى بيغولي يبحث عن تمرير، كرة دي ماريا عرضية من دي ماريا لكن دفاع حاضر بعودة كاسميرو بالواجبات الدفاعية. تمريرة خاطئة من دي ماريا تصطد بفيغولي لتعود الكرة إلى رمية التماس. هنا دي ماريا يعني تعاقدات هذا الموسم لليوفي يعني كما يريد وكما يشتهي أليجري، المطالب بأن يكون أكثر جرأة بالتحديد على المستوى اللعب الهجومي. يعني التعاقد مع دي ماريا مع بريمر، ويتطلع التعاقد مع لاعب خط وسط آخر، والحديث عن باريديس من باريس سان جيرمان أو زانييلو من روما لكي يكون إضافة قوية قبل الإضافة. وأليجري مطالب بأن يغير من العقلية الدفاعية ويلعب بعقلية هجومية. اليوفي اللي في آخر المواسم لك أن تتخيل عزيزي المشاهد وبالتحديد يا عاشق اليوفي عاشق البيانكونيري، مع جل احترامي للفرق التي سأذكرها، اليوفي في السنوات الأخيرة في دوري أبطال أوروبا خرج من أياكس ثم من ليون ومن بورتو ومن فياريال. يعني هذه الفرق لا تصل إلى نصف إنجازات وتاريخ وعراقة اليوفي، لكن يحاول من خلال هذا الموسم على الأقل العودة إلى الدوري، وهنا الابتسامة ما بين الأسمران دافيد آلابا ودينيس زكريا. والله لقطة ينطبق عليها عبارة الجمال والسمار، السمار مو نصف الجمال، السمار الجمال كله من خلال ابتسامة زكريا وابتسامة دافيد آلابا. تعود الكرة إلى ريال مدريد، كارفاخال، فالفيردي، شاهد كاسبيرو متواجد في المكان المناسب، تغيير اللعب، مقطوع الكرة من دانييلو إلى دي ماريا يحاول إلى زكريا، تعود إلى لوكاتيلي يبحث عن زميل، إلى دي ماريا، إلى فلاهوفيتش، فيغولي، إلى مويسكين يحاول أن يقدم إضافة هجومية إلى فيغولي، إلى مويسكين، يتركها إلى فلاهوفيتش، إلى ساندرو، هجمة الآن لليوفي، خطرة المتابعة لكن ميندي حاضر، وارجع الكرة بكل ثقة إلى تيبو كورتوا، إلى ميندي، إلى كروز، فينيسيوس جونيور، إلى ميندي، إلى ميليتاو، خطرة المطالبة بركلة جزاء لكن لا وجود لصافرة، لا وجود لخطأ. تعود إلى دانييلو بريمر، أفضل مدافع في الدوري الإيطالي الموسم الماضي، المطالبة بركلة جزاء. دي ماريا، الأمور يعني ما تحتاج إصابات أخرى بعد إصابة بوجبا والكلام الكثير عن غيابه عن مونديال قطر. أليجري يعني يبحث عن حل، وهناك مثل إيطالي يقول ينبغي أن نعطي بعض الوقت للوقت، وأليجري أنت أخذت كل وقتك، فعليك بتغيير عقلية اللاعبين إلى الهجومي، إلى التفكير الهجومي، إلى الهجوم، إلى الضغط، إلى التهديف. أعتقد يعني لا يوجد تدخل من ميليتاو، وبالتالي يعني قرار الحكم يعني يقترب إلى الدقة، والقرار الصحيح. على العموم نلعب في الدقيقة 28 من الشوط الأول. مشاهدينا متابعي قناة الرابعة الرياضية، مستمرين معكم، وهذا اللقاء الودي ضمن طابع رسمي أشبه بمباراة ضمن دوري أبطال أوروبا، كحماس، كاندفاع، رغبة الفوز حاضرة. وهنا اللقطة، أعتقد في اللقطة الثانية يعني قدم دي ماريا اصطدت بقدم ميليتاو. على العموم أي قرار تحكيمي ما نغوص ونبحر في هذا القرار، نتركه لأصحاب القرار في عالم التحكيم. الأهم النتيجة هي تقدم من ريال مدريد بهدف مقابل لا شيء. ريال مدريد وما أدراك كم ريال، تأسس عام 1902، دوري إسباني 35 لقب، كأس إسبانيا 19 لقب، دوري أبطال أوروبا 14 لقب، كأس السوبر الإسباني 12 لقب، كأس الاتحاد الأوروبي لقبين، كأس السوبر الأوروبي 4 ألقاب، كأس الانتر كونتيننتال 3 ألقاب، وكأس العالم للأندية 4 ألقاب. أكثر من 90 لقب لهذا النادي. هنا لقطة ركلة الجزاء، ومن خلال ركلة الجزاء سجل هدف أول إلى الآن في المباراة. هنا الإعادة كانت لارتكاب الخطأ، وهنا الإعادة بتسجيل كريم بنزيما لهدف في مرمى يوفنتوس. أول رئيس نادي هو جوليان بلاسيوش عام 1900 إلى عام 1902. تاريخ عراقة، لاعبين أساطير، أوغوير، أجيلار، أغوستين، مانثيو، أنطونيو رويز، دي ستيفانو، هوغو سانشيز، خينتو، لويس مولينو، راؤول غونزاليس، كريستيانو رونالدو الظاهرة، كاسياس، وزين الدين زيدان، وإن كانت الانطلاقة من زيدان مع اليوفي، والأسماء الكثيرة نحتاج لساعات كثيرة وعديدة لذكر أسماء عمالقة اليوفي. كرة الآن مويسكين، ميليتاو، تغطية بإبعاد والمساندة من ساندرو، ساتيرا وخطأ. خطأ لهذا اللاعب، لاعب نيكولا فيغولي. طبعا الموسم الماضي كان معار لفريق كريمونينسي، سجل 3 أهداف. خطأ. نصف ساعة مرت من الشوط الأول مشاهدينا متابعي قناة الرابعة الرياضية، والنتيجة واضحة أمامك عزيزي المشاهد. في الوطن العربي الكبير ريال مدريد متقدم بهدف من ركلة جزاء سجلت عن طريق سجلها الكريم الحكومة كريم بنزيما. توني كروس يحاول الضغط من زكريا، تعود الكرة إلى كريم بنزيما، هدف ثاني قريب للريال مدريد. كارفاخال يتقدم، كرة داخل منطقة الجزاء، يبحث عن عرضية حاضرة، الكرة برا الملعب، ركلة مرمى لمصلحة البيانكونيري. كارفاخال، توجيهات من بونوتشي لدانييلو، ولا كارفاخال والله بين الشيب يا كارفاخال، بين الشيب سنين تمضي يا كارفاخال، لكن العمر مجرد رقم، العطاء داخل أرضية الملعب، وهذا ما يقدمه كارفاخال داخل المستطيل الأخضر. رأسية تبعد من ميليتاو إلى ميندي، كاسيميرو إلى فينيسيوس جونيور، الضغط من ليوناردو بونوتشي، والكرة إلى رمية تماس. توجيهات من أليغري، جماهير بالتأكيد سعيدة مبتسمة فرحة بتواجد عملاقان من عمالقة الكرة الأوروبية والعالمية، ريال مدريد، يوفنتوس، ميرينجي، لبيانكونيا. ميليتاو يسيطر على الكرة إلى كروز. ميليتاو طبعا قادم من مثل أندية ساو باولو وبورتو، إلى ميندي القادم من ليون، إضافة قوية للريال على جهة اليسار. دانييلو، تعود الكرة إلى فلاوفيتش، لكن مقطوعة الكرة من ميندي. فينيسيوس جونيور، إلى فالفيردي، إلى لوكا مودريتش، الله مر من الأول، لكن الثاني لوكاتيلي، الكرة لا تزال وسط غابة من الثقل. بنزيما إلى كروز، توني يبحث عن زميل دائما هو دويتو كروي أو ما بين كروز و فيردي. كارفاخال، هدف ثاني، كارفاخال، لكن الكرة تصطد بساندرو، والكرة سبعة أهداف، وهذا يبين لك مدى العقم الهجومي او التفكير الهجومي لماسيميليانو أليغري. بيرين هو دائما الحارس البديل بتواجد تشيزني حارس البولندي. لوكاتيلي الكرة من قبل لاعبي اليوفي. دانييلو دي ماريا دائما يبحث عن حل فردي، لكن متى ما تكون الفردية والمهارة للمجموعة يكون الأداء جيد. كارفاخال دائما ما يتقدم، وشاهدنا أكثر من لقطة يتقدم ولسبب وحيد لا ثاني له، هو ضعف جهة اليسار لليوفي بتواجد الكساندرو وعدم مساندة بيغولي ومويسكين عندما تكون الكرة أو هجمة للريال مدريد. كارفاخال، توني كروز، مقطوعة الكرة من جونيور، دوشان فلاوفيتش، دي ماريا، شاهد دي ماريا يستحوذ ينتظر، تأخر بالمساندة. دانييلو، لوكاتيلي، بطء كبير في نقل الكرة، وهذا البطء أدى إلى عودة لاعبي ريال مدريد إلى المناطق الدفاعية. ساندرو، دوشان فلاوفيتش، شاهد تحرك فلاوفيتش من أجل الاستحواذ على الكرة، من أجل فتح الفراغات والمساحات بدفاعات فريق ريال مدريد، لكن إلى الآن المدريدي على المستوى الدفاعي ملتزم منضبط بكل اللاعبين، وأولهم الحكومة كريم بنزيما. تعود الكرة إلى بريمر، جيليسون بريمر قادم من تورينو يبحث عن زميل، شاهد مر وتقدم واستحوذ على الكرة لبضع ثواني ولا توجد مساندة. اختار المساندة أو اختار التمرير إلى ساندرو اللي دائما ما يقدم التمريرات، ما يقدم الهدايا للزملاء، وتوقعت شخصيا راح يمرر الكرة لفينيسيوس جونيور، لكن اختار الحل الفردي والكرة طالت ووصلت إلى ماتيا بيرين. لوكاتيلي بالتأكيد غياب بوجبا سيكون مؤثر. كرة أمامية، دي ماريا بحالة تسلل واضحة، وإن كانت الكرة أعتقد في مرمى ريال مدريد، لكن حالة تسلل. أليغري لا يزال يبحث عن خطة، عن تكتيك معين لكي تعود السيدة العجوز شابة كما عهدناها من حيث البطولات والإنجازات الموسمان الماضيان على المستوى الكرة الإيطالية لقطبي مدينة ميلان، انتر ميلان واي سي ميلان. وكما ذكرت أن يمر الموسم الثالث واليوفي لا يحقق الدوري، فهذه مسألة صعبة تقترب إلى الكارثة الكروية اليوفنتينية. اليوفي الذي عوقب بعام 2006 بعد قضية الكالتشيو بولي والهبوط إلى دوري الدرجة الثانية، عاد إلى الكالتشيو وعاقب إيطاليا وفرقها بالفوز بالدوري الإيطالي في 9 مواسم متتالية مع كونتي، مع أليغري، مع ساري، وبالتالي يحاول أن يعود مرة أخرى. ريال مدريد هدف ثاني، فالفيردي عرضية لكن تغطية حاضرة من شاهد هذه اللقطة معبرة. مويسكين المهاجم الثاني مع دوشان فلاوفيتش يتواجد في منطقة جزاء اليوفي للمساندة الدفاعية. دانييلو، ليوناردو بونوتشي، تمريرة بالمنتصف، لوكاتيلي، شاهد البطء، بطء كبير جدا، بطء واضح في خط وسط اليوفي من حيث دخل الكرات. ليوناردو بونوتشي يحاول يتقدم، تمريرة اصطدت بكاسميرو، تذهب مرتدة الآن مدريدية، يبحث عن حل. بنزيما حاضر بنزيما، لكن التغطية من هذا اللاعب القوي البدني بريمر والكرة تبعد بالخطأ. هي ما راحت للغريب يا بريمر، راحت لزميلك، لكن زميلك في المنتخب اللي هو كاسميرو، من برازيلي إلى برازيلي، حوار برازيلي على الأراضي الأمريكية في مباراة ودية ما بين يوفنتوس والريال مدريد، والريال متقدم بهدف مقابل لا شيء. هدف سجل بنزيما بركلة جزاء. مودريتش يحاول إلى مندي هي كرة إلى فينيسيوس جونيور، إلى كروس، يحاول يمرر تمريرة طالت على لوكا مودريتش، والكرة ذهبت إلى ركلة مرمى لمصلحة فريق يوفنتوس. 5 دقائق أخيرة من الشوط الأول. مشاهدينا متابعي قناة الرابعة الرياضية في وطننا العربي الكبير، طبعا كل عام والأمة الإسلامية بكل خير بحلول العام الهجري الجديد. إن شاء الله يكون عام خير وأمن وأمان وسلام على الأمة العربية بشكل عام وعلى الأمة الإسلامية في العالم أجمع. كرة تعود إلى الحارس تيبو كورتوا إلى آلابا، نقل الكرة بكل سهولة. كاسيميرو، فالفيردي، مودريتش إلى آلابا، إلى كروس مرة أخرى. طالت الكرة لوكاتيلي، تمرير الآن أيضا بالخطأ، مقطوعة الكرة تعود إلى ريال مدريد. ميليتاو، إيدير ميليتاو، هذا المدافع كبداية لم تكن جيدة، لكن تأقلم مع ريال مدريد مع الكرة الإسبانية كعقلية وتفكير ريال مدريد. يعني أنشلوتي، كارلو أنشلوتي، يعني قبل أيام يعني سألوه عن طموحاتك الموسم القادم بدون تردد، قال يعني طموحي وطموح الفريق هو الوصول الى اللقب ال15 بدوري ابطال اوروبا. فينيسيوس جونيور، بنزيما، مقطوعه الكره لكن تصل الى اليكس ساندرو، بيغولي، زكريا، دانييلو، ايضا خطا دفاعي، ماتيا بيرين. انشلوتي يعني ما ذكر انه والله المنافسه ونقدم مستوى طيب، خلاص ختمها من القويه قويه من فينيسيوس جونيور، والكره الى ركله مرمى. انشلوتي ما ذكر انه والله نقدم مستوى طيب وننافس على البطوله، خلاص ختمها من التصريح انه ننافس او طموحي هو الحصول على اللقب ال15 بدوري ابطال اوروبا. وقادر ريال مدريد والعراب كارلو أنشيلوتي قادر كفريق وكمدرب بأن يحقق اللقب القادم على مستوى دوري أبطال أوروبا. زكريا، صعوبة إخراج الكرة من لاعب اليوفي، ضغط من ريال مدريد. بيغولي لاعب شاب، تمريرة مويسكين، أعتقد خطأ بالفعل، خطأ على كارفخال. داني كارفخال يعتذر من مويسكين، كان قريب من الخروج وأعير إلى إيفرتون وإلى باريس سان جيرمان، وكان قريب من العودة إلى 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 إلى, إلى باريس سان جيرمان، لكن بسبب عودة ألفارو موراتا إلى أتلتيكو مدريد الإبقاء على مويسكين. لكن أيضا اليوفي لديه نواقص على مستوى خط الدفاع، صانع لعب دوشان، فلافيتش، دوشان، لكن الله على التغطية المثالية وبكل فدائية عن طريق المدافع البرازيلي إيدير ميليتاو حرم دوشان وحرم اليوفي من هدف أول بإبعاد الكرة إلى ركلة ركني. هو يبحث عن أنصاف الفرص، لا والله على أرباع الفرص. أتحدث عن دوشان فلافيتش من خلال هذا اللقاء وكل اللقاءات اللي يكون فيها مشارك. أتحدث عن اللي تصير به دوشان فلافيتش. ركنيات، هل يسجل هدف اليوفي للعودة؟ لكن الراسية اصطدت بالزميل لتمنع كرة الهدف الأول لليوفنتوس. مرتدة الآن كريم بنزيما، مرتدة بسلاح المرتدات، كرة تمرير أمامية، لكن دانييلو لكن برافو، حلوة من دانييلو. دوشان، بيغولي إلى فلافيتش، تصدى الكرة بفالفيردي من هدف محقق إلى اليوفي. هنا الإعادة، هنا اللقطة، راسية من بريمر اصطدت بمويسكين، ورأسية كانت قوية من بريمر لولا مويسكين اللي يتقمص دور المدافع مع ريال مدريد وحرم اليوفي من هدف تعادل من خلال رأسية المدافع البرازيلي إليسون بريمر. ثواني أخيرة وينتهي الوقت الأصلي للشوط الأول. دقيقتان كوقت بدل ضاع. شوط ممتع، شوط مثير. انسانا ان المباراة بطابع ودي من حيث الاثارة والندية والفرص الضائعة، والريال سجل هدف وكان قريب جدا من تسجيل اهداف اخرى. ايضا اليوفي وان كان ملتزم بالواجبات الدفاعية ايضا وصل الى مرمى ريال مدريد، لكن بتواجد ايدير ميليتاو وآلابا. شاهد الله على هذه تمريرة بالرأس خلفية من بنزيما إلى فينيسيوس جونيور راح يمر بالفعل. فرق كبير ما بين خبرة دانييلو ومهارة الله. سلم موسيقي يعزف من خلال أقدام لاعبي ريال مدريد ما بين الثنائي فينيسيوس جونيور وكريم بنزيما. كرة الآن دي ماريا المختفي في الدقائق القليلة الماضية. تغيير لعب مويسكين الكنترول الخاطئ من كارفخال، والكرة إلى رمية تماس. مويسكين آخر كرات الشوط الأول. ساندرو نيكولا بيغولي دي ماريا تمرير بيغولي. كرة أخيرة في الشوط الأول. يوفنتوس يبحث عن هدف تعادل. العرضية لكن العرضية تعبر عن أداء ألكساندرو الضعيف في هذا الموسم أو الموسم القليل الماضي. تمريرة تراك. الله على التفاهم، على التناغم، على الانسجام ما بين بنزيما وفينيسيوس، والكرة بعد أن لمسها بنزيما وهو صاحب الهدف بنزيما تأتي صافرة حكم اللقاء ليعلن عن نهاية الشوط الأول الممتع المثير بتقدم الريال مدريد عن طريق هذا اللاعب الحكومة من ركلة جزاء. لا تذهبوا بعيدا أحبتي المشاهدين، ألتقيكم بعد الاستراحة. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
تحية طيبة لجميع المتابعين ومشاهدي قناة رابع وواحد.
تعدي رحمة العبوه هو جاي
فريق يعني ممتاز.
موجودين
تعرف ليش مفروض الحارس تحمل؟
انت اليوم ماشي ثلاث لاعبين.
سعيد بلاعب محترفين.
هذا الجمهور وهذا انا لا ترك ماتش.
اهلا وسهلا بكم اصدقائنا المشاهدين، برنامجكم التفاعلي الرياضي كليك. سؤال حلقتنا لهذا اليوم اصدقائي:
حينما تريد أن يكون صوتك أعلى من الجميع، فإننا سنكون
أول الأهداف 1 العراق لا شيء لبنان.
نكون صوتك المسموع، ولأننا صوت الملاعب.
إيزابيل كتقدم لكم أفضل تون.
قد تجلب لك الأموال السعادة، وقد يجعلك الحظ سعيدا أيضا، ولكن بالنسبة لهذه المدينة فإن كل
A princípio, apenas uma.
I'm not a massive fan of Anthony Martial, but I think it would be an upgrade on Vlahovic right now. Certainly looking at the 45 we've seen so far.
Couple of changes, one on either side. One Cuadrado is going to come on in place of Angel Di Maria. He's still working his way in pre-season with his new club. Tony Rudiger's going to come on and replace Militao, and it's going to come on and replace Militao, and it just shows you the strength in depth. Much confident signing, Rudiger.
Defence centre half, the assumption being that it will be a straight swap here for Militao, but also looking at Furlan sensibly. But going forward with the ball, he hasn't been that good. And when I watched Rudiger playing as a left back against Barcelona, he was one of the highlights for Real Madrid in that game where they really got outplayed by the Catalan team, Barcelona.
Matty, only 3 players in Champions League last year completed more passes than Tony Rudiger in that left centre-back role for Chelsea. And not for the first time tonight, Juve awaited. And as we mentioned before, when you've won pretty much everything, and you are the reigning Champions League winners, they will wait.
Yeah, and I don't think that's an egotistical thing. Well, I hope it's not from Real Madrid, but look, the game can only start when there's 2 sets of players out there. But you are right. What a great side Real Madrid have been. We mentioned some of the older players as well, but the older players have almost been the better players on show here. I think Toni Kroos has been fantastic. Benzema probably the pick of the bunch. Modric as well. We haven't seen masses of Modric, but at 36 years of age, still out there, still performing to the best of his ability.
And Juventus to kick things off, attacking from right to left to start the second half. Mebarato on Rudiger on for Real Madrid. Militao off. So Carlo Ancelotti embracing some of the Juventus staff there as well. Former Juve manager. Famous for his time as a player with Milan, that all-conquering Milan team which won 2 European Cups, which is to be renamed as the Champions League. We expected the Real Madrid starters to get a little bit longer than usual in these pre-season matchups.
Yeah, I think the closer you get to competitive matchups, you start out in pre-season friendlies maybe playing a 45, maybe only a half an hour in some of the lesser friendlies. You work your way up, then you play 60, then maybe a 75. And at times before your first competitive game, you'll play a whole 90 as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of these Real Madrid players do play a full 90 before that Super Cup game against Eintracht Frankfurt in 10 days' time.
Played in behind here, Keane. Comes on to defend the Carvajal. In through for Thibaut Courtois. Good run from Keane.
It was. It's a decent ball from Locatelli as well. He knows where Keane's running. He doesn't really look. Just curls it around Carvajal. But it's good recovery from Dani Carvajal. Puts the pressure on Keane. But you can see, just scuffs the shot. Moise Keane.
Brenner Vlahovic, and Alaba looked like he slipped for a moment. Good read from Thibaut Courtois.
Yeah, and that's Courtois, what he's all about as well. That's starting position. The starting position for a goalkeeper. The anticipation of those through balls as well.
I think at some stage last season there was a top 10 list by a publication in Europe in terms of goalkeepers. They actually left Thibaut Courtois off, and he was, let's just say, a little unhappy about it. And I think he answered some critics in the Champions League final.
Well, he played with the chip on his shoulder the whole time after that, and he let everybody know in the Champions League final.
Well, then, let's put a skill from him. Vinicius trying to break through too. Brenner, who's been really good at centre-back so far for Juventus. A strong challenge.
I think Bremer has been very good, and I think he will be very good for Juventus. I know sometimes it's difficult to come into a new side, but the good thing with Bremer is, you know, he's not coming into a new league. It's a league he's comfortable with, the Serie A. And I think alongside Bonucci, obviously wildly experienced, I think they would be a really good pairing.
Again, Mendy, and he's given that ball up a couple of times in that situation. Cuadrado came across from Chelsea initially as a winger. He's played a lot as a fullback as well. That was good pressure, but maybe too overzealous with the challenge and the free kick given for Real Madrid.
Yeah, he's able to play at multiple positions, as you said. I've seen him play at right back, at left wing, and now at right wing, just in the few pre-season friendlies that Juventus have played here in the States. Don't quite want that moniker though, jack of all trades, master of none. I think Cuadrado really wants to nail down a position.
Vlahovic, Bonucci. Those of us looking for more from Dusan Vlahovic. I think his argument might be that he hasn't got the ball in these kind of areas enough. Bundled off it though, really good defensive play again. Casemiro, one of the best in the business at it. Valverde, lovely play from him as well. Casemiro, Valverde continuing his run towards Benzema. He lets that one run for Vinicius. Vinicius going at Danilo, pulls it back. Benzema. Alaba on his left foot. Well, he just continues to wander from centre back, David Alaba.
Well, Alaba doesn't mind at all, does he? He will progress as far up the field as possible. It looks a decent strike as well. It's a good block in the end. Another corner kick for Real Madrid, who've started this second half very much as they finished the first.
Cruz. It's a near post, well defended. Modric. Chasing that one down. Lovely little reverse pass to Toni Kroos. Options on that far side, and I think Benzema actually might have got in the way of Toni Rudiger, who was just behind him.
Well, absolutely, you would have thought that Rudiger would have called Benzema off, because Benzema can only get underneath the ball here and just head it up in the air. There's no way he can get a header on target. But Cruz now has another go from the corner kick. The first one was a little bit short, but headed away at the near post.
Cruz, right foot in, and the header well wide. Alaba again, the target.
Well, Alaba's playmaker, isn't he, right now, it seems. Playing as a centre-half. He's found himself in left-wing positions, found himself in right midfield positions. Maybe that's just showing us how dominant Real Madrid have been in this game, that the centre-half feels himself capable of doing that.
There's pressure again from Real Madrid. Again, just too much on it from Casemiro, but going back to Alaba, Maddie, long-time left-back at Bayern, and the best in the business. Went to centre-back, one of the best in the league again, and for Austria, the best central midfielder they have. Oh, and by the way, he can score a set-piece as well.
Yeah, he has full confidence in all of those positions as well. I talked about players with a jack of all trades, master of none, but Alaba, he can manage to do that as well.
Master of all trades.
Exactly.
Catelli. Quadrado. Danilo. Cani has gone out one. This is better from Juventus. Danilo. Cut back. Quadrado. Inside the area. Quadrado. Couple of step overs, maybe one too many. Ship towards the far post. Kane, just too much on it. Just over the shoulder of Carvajal.
Molto più maturo rispetto a come l'hanno lasciato, facendo giocare anche in zona del campo. Invece il primo piano di Carlo Ancelotti che attore però. Nel frattempo attacca il Real Madrid, palla verso Valverde, intervento spettacolare di Locatelli, calcio d'angolo per il Real Madrid. Impressionante gesto atletico di Locatelli, ma lo abbiamo detto anche nel primo tempo, sto ragazzo sta bene. Cross di nuovo da Modric.
Real opportunity for Real Madrid. The cross towards Valverde and acrobatic coming back in. Locatelli with the interception.
Well, it's just a little bit too much of a time of flight on this ball. Just allows Locatelli to get back into position. It's a high foot, but he clears it well. The ball just needed to be fizzed across to Valverde a little bit quicker and better for Mendy.
Modric. Cruz. Back for Modric. Outside of the foot and just overhit again over Rudiger, who just, I think, gives a bit of a thumbs up. He liked the idea. Execution just wasn't quite right.
Yeah, very rarely that you say that about the passing of Modric, whether it's with the inside of the right foot, the outside. This time with the outside of the right foot, just trying to pick out Rudiger.
He's not a bad record of scoring big goals, does he, with the outside of that foot, Luka Modric? Former Ballon d'Or winner himself. And in this time and age, when you have Mr. Ronaldo and Messi, that's quite a feat.
I think we all hope, most people hope, that a teammate of his, including Benzema, wins it this time.
It's Benzema. Getting into pressure again, Quadrado. Confident, a bit of energy since coming on. And again the free kick is given. Real Madrid, who at times in that Champions League run sat back and defended a little bit deeper. They've been high pressing today. Challenge. I don't think any doubt about that one.
No, none at all. Definitely a foul, and you're right. I think that Real Madrid also have the ability to change the tactics, and we know that Carlo Ancelotti definitely has that. And I don't think they could have played against Liverpool in this manner. I know this is only a pre-season friendly, but they're set up to press high. They felt they could do that against Liverpool. They sat back and hit on the counter. I it worked. And it worked throughout the Champions League for them.
So many times we thought they were down and out. PSG, Chelsea, Manchester City.
Well, Man City was the one for me.
Benzema turns, they've dropped off it, ball out wide. Another opportunity, cross in, and Pena gets a hand to it. Still not cleared. Carvajal. Cruz back for Alaba. Mendy staying really advanced. Much more adventurous with his position in the second half. Lovely touch by Vinicius. Benzema takes it off the foot of Cruz. Now gives it to the German international. Vinicius goes for goal. That one a couple of yards over. I mentioned in the first half, Matty, the run's coming from so many different angles from Real Madrid in the attack. There's Mendy coming forward.
Yeah, brilliant from Mendy. Just fizzes the ball across the goalkeeper. And a decent, strong hand from Perin. Here, the power cut attempted by Vinicius Junior. But you have to get that on target. You have to force a save from the goalkeeper. Especially when you've got a more inexperienced goalkeeper in the likes of Perin. Force him into making a save.
Lovely chest trap there from Vlahovic. Keane. Where's Keane? Trying to get to the byline. Gets his cross in, but there was enough pressure on him from Carvajal to just knock him out of his stride, and comfortable again for Thibaut Courtois.
The little nudge with the shoulder just as Keane was about to cross the ball. Forced him just to cross it into the hands of Courtois. That's probably, certainly not the toughest save, because it wasn't a save, but certainly the toughest thing he's had to do almost, Courtois.
Well, back from Modric. Rudiger. It's going to be interesting to see exactly where he lines up in this back four.
Yeah, I think his strongest position is a centre-half without a shadow of a doubt, but we saw him going up against Dembele when Real Madrid were playing against Barcelona in Las Vegas, and he did a decent job. More than a decent job, in fact.
Dembele did to Juventus.
Yeah, he didn't do that to Rudiger. Rudiger's a great one-on-one defender. I think he's almost a little bit too tall to be a fullback, but that one-on-one defending, certainly up against Dembele, did fantastically well. Some centre-halves get uncomfortable defending one-on-one. He doesn't at all. He's happy to be out in those wider positions.
Rudiger took a deflection. I was saying that Casemiro was just decided to stay back in centre-back. Now he's back in midfield. But almost a split 50-50 with Alaba in terms of that position.
Modric, Casemiro. Kroos, Casemiro, Modric. De lujo el Madrid, se va así en Pasadena, aquí la tiene Modric. Si esto termina en gol, es para el cuadrito. Aquí la viene metiendo para Valverde, aquí la tiene Valverde. Benzema, Carvajal, Vinicius, va Vinicius, mete para Carvajal, aquí la tiene Carvajal. Salvó Perín, salvó el arquero. Bueno, Perín aguó la fiesta. Era para que termine en gol y armar un cuadro con la jugada que había hecho el Madrid.
Estamos buscando el marco ya, ¿eh? Ya habíamos pedido presupuesto.
Allí la tiene Kroos. Kroos con Modric. Benzema. Benzema. Toni Kroos. Juegan como si tuvieran 25 a veces Kroos, Modric y Casemiro, ¿no? Aquí la tiene Kroos, le pega al arco. Hay saque de meta para la Juve.
El Madrid se ocupó de encontrar reemplazantes para que pudieran tener un poquitito más de minutos, de gestionar mejor los minutos. Hoy la respuesta que han dado los tres es que estamos para lo que sea. Han jugado muy bien, sobre todo Modric. Y claro, Kroos nunca va a jugar por debajo de su real capacidad, porque entiende el juego de una manera muy natural. Ahora, ese encuentro que vimos recién, con taco incluido, es una síntesis de lo que significa la sala de máquinas del Madrid, el corazón del equipo.
Así se viene Vinicius. Cambiando Toni Kroos. Carvajal. Atrás tocando Carvajal. Rudiger. Rudiger. Benzema. Luka Modric. Aquí lo tiene Modric. Valverde. Se viene el halcón. Va Valverde. Insiste Valverde. Valverde contra el área. Mete Valverde el rebote. La quería por allí Benzema marcando el córner. Bonucci. Habrá tiro de esquina para el Madrid. Insisto, está muy cerca del segundo.
Preciso,
Another corner kick. Yeah, it certainly looks like the cavalry is about to arrive. Hearing 9 changes ahead for Real Madrid.
Okay, so there you are. I'm completely wrong. Nobody's going to be playing 90 minutes for Real Madrid. And the cavalry is arriving. And I think Carlo Ancelotti will be very happy with what he's seen in this opening hour of the game.
I'm guessing Rudiger's going to stay on. There you go. Cruz. All out to Benzema. Good first touch. I think he wanted to try and set himself up for a volley, but he was closed down well by Juventus. Really good defensive play once again from Real Madrid. And again with the save.
2 good saves from Pelin. And I think the players on show now, they've seen all the substitutes. They wanted to go out with a bang, that's for sure. Benzema certainly did, forced a really good save from the fingertips of the right hand of Pelin.
3 more changes coming for Juventus as well. Majoli. Mebara, who's come out this left for the very first time. Sandra. Macaria. Locatelli. Vlahovic. You can see the idea as he was looking to slip that one in for Mebara, but the flag had gone up, and now we will see the changes. Aurelien Tchouameni, one of them. Camavinga also coming on. Rodrigo. And a great ovation inside the Rose Bowl for this starting Real Madrid side.
Why not? Karim Benzema leads the claps of the Real Madrid players. I think they appreciate this sellout crowd here at the Rose Bowl. Predominantly Real Madrid fans as well. Has to be about 95% Real Madrid fans here.
Vasquez looks like he's going to right back. Vallejo, I think, is on at centre back. Courtois, for now, is the only one that could go 90. The other side of things, we have 3 players on the line for Juventus. Nicola Rovella, Aki, and Federico Gatti, all getting ready to come on. Keane is going to go down the middle. That front 3. So it's going to be Rudiger and Vallejo, the 2 centre-backs. Tchouameni, big signing. A lot of clubs after the young Frenchman. Big outlay of money on him. I thought the Frenchman they had their eye on initially, but certainly one for the future. As is this man, Camavinga. Nice ball. Chance to break here for Quadrado. Keane inside the area. Quadrado, twisting, turning. This might fall for Keane, and Courtois. Strong punch clear. Rodrigo. Good touch from him. Another man who's rumoured to have penned the new deal. Attention here as there's still have a man down inside the Real Madrid penalty area. It was just after the punch from Courtois.
Yeah, it was a good punch from Courtois as well. It's good decision making from the goalkeeper. Didn't try and catch it, just make sure he got a solid fist on the ball and got it up, out lot of danger, and then he also got distance on the clearance as well. Not just the height and distance on the punch from Courtois. Absolutely magnificent goalkeeping. Nothing more than you'd expect. Certainly, this is the last thing you want to see, certainly to a young professional like Ake. Only just come on the field of play as well.
He landed there as well, wasn't it? The knee slide.
It was, and this is the punch as well. You can see the height on the jump, and then the height and the distance on that right-handed punch from Courtois. What Ake, of course we hope he's okay.
Gingerly to the sideline. I think we are going to see another change. That really is unfortunate.
He's been on the field no more than 60 seconds there, Ake.
Just 21 years of age, former Marseille man. And again, at this stage, you don't want to take any chances either. No, he wants the opportunity, but you don't want to potentially make any injury that bit worse.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing to gain in aggravating an injury, that's for sure. He's got a couple of weeks before the first league game. First real competitive game, that is, for Juventus. August the 15th against Sassuolo. You have to feel for the young man, that's for sure.
Matthias Sule is up.
Si è aperto un varco nella difesa della Juventus e Marco Asensio a rimorchio ha ringraziato Asensio, uno di quei giocatori che sembrava in partenza qualche settimana fa senza alcun dubbio, invece poi il fatto che abbiamo lasciato sia Jovic che Isco proprio ha spalancato una possibilità diversa per lui. L'assist di Valle, una cosa da ricordare. Gran giocata.
And the lack of cohesion that we saw in the first few seconds with this newly installed bunch of Real Madrid players suddenly takes a turn for the better. A good run from Asensio, unmarked. Look at the lovely footwork here. Great ball from Hazard. He is then fouled as well. The referee says play on. The ball flashed across the top of the 6-yard box. And running from Asensio sweeps it home with the left foot. Another good goal for Real Madrid.
Carlo Pinzoglio is going to come on in goal for Pereira. Made a couple of big saves. Daniele Rugani as well. Experienced centre-back on for Pereira. Really good finish from Asensio. Really good from Real Madrid to not stop, not wait for the whistle.
Exactly. You always taught as a schoolboy, schoolgirl, you play to the whistle. And they certainly did that, Real Madrid. And Asensio, I love that late run. So difficult to pick up a player who's on the move.
Chance to cross. Good interception. Not play on the far side. Vasquez as a fullback again. Use the term jack of all trades. He's always found a way to just maximise his ability. Real Madrid need cover in the position. He's ready. Wide for Pellegrini. Quadrado. Carlo Ancelotti has been saying this week, we know how good a season was last year, but we feel we're even better with this squad we have. It's a tight squad last year, really only used 15 players. And we brought in Chouameni. Camavinga's a year older. Certainly Rudiger as well.
Absolutely, I like those two players as well, Camavinga and Tchouaméni.
Nice ball from Cuadrado. The shot towards that near post never looked like troubling Thibaut Courtois. Soule just on the field. The effort off the side netting.
Again, you say it so many times, when you're in that position at that tight angle, you've got to go across the face of the goalkeeper. So the goalkeeper is forced to make a save and offer up a rebound. You go for that near post area. The goalkeeper of the ability of Courtois is going to have that covered. And more often than not, it slashes into the side netting, as that shot from Soule did anyway.
Another man we haven't mentioned who has come on, Eden Hazard, who's been played almost as a false nine so far in pre-season.
Incredibly false, because he doesn't want to be there, that's for certain. We saw him in the movement for the goal, but that's almost playing in a 10 position. And look, Hazard, he's not very good at playing with his back to goal. That's not where he wants to be playing. He wants to be facing the goal, running up players. It was also the joke when he was at Chelsea. Didn't really want to see him in pre-season until the first month of the season, because then he was up to match fitness, match speed, match weight possibly as well.
Nacho also who I mentioned. Wholesale changes for Real Madrid, but same old Real Madrid because they're coming forward again. Vasquez gets to the line and wins the corner kick.
Well, and there's Hazard playing, facing the goal, being able to see the pitch, being able to pick out passes. They haven't missed a beat, have they, this Real Madrid new team that's on?
Corner routine, good cross towards the far post. And Rudiger again the target. Just too much on it.
Yeah, look, he makes no time in getting back either. That's what I love from Rudiger. Out of shot, I know. But he's missed the ball at the back post and he's back in 4 or 5 seconds back on the halfway line and picking up Keane.
Looks like it's going to be a foul. Just the undercutting of Tchouaméni from Locatelli.
Yeah, this certainly hurts, that's for sure. Locatelli could feel Tchouaméni coming. It just kind of turned his back, rolled his back. And then it made it very difficult for Tchouaméni to have a soft landing or even to think that he was going to hit the floor. Took the full force of that on his back.
Well, part of a spectacular evening here at the Rose Bowl. 93,702 in attendance.
Yeah, we said a little bit early on, didn't we? That after about 30-40 minutes there was probably only about 70,000 people here. Now there's not, now it's absolutely jam-packed. It's well and truly full capacity here, and you can hear it in the crowd noise.
Real Madrid sending numbers forward again. Vasquez tracking back in defensively. Juventus just playing themselves back into trouble. Vasquez almost winning it. And Juventus with a man down. It'll be a Real Madrid throw in. They're going to, well, they almost took it quickly. And now cooler heads prevailed. And you see the trainers come on and more changes coming for Juventus as well.
It doesn't seem to matter how many changes Juventus make. The pattern of this game is still the same. Real Madrid have changed the whole of the starting lineup in terms of the outfield players, that is, and they've still been dominant in every area of statistics.
Nicolo Gudrig is going to come on for Locatelli in midfield. Danilo is going to come off. Looks like he's going to be replaced by Barbieri. The Graka is going to come on as well. Graka, Italian youth international, has been on the score sheet already.
Yeah, the Graka scored in that first friendly on that US tour against Chivas Guadalajara.
We talk about later on in these games where some of the bigger names given rest, but for some of the younger players, it really is the big moment.
It's a big moment. It's the time to shine. Granted, there's not that long left, but just about a quarter of an hour it will be. There'll be some additional time as well. That's why sometimes it gets even more disjointed, because younger players are trying to do more than they possibly should. They're trying to shine, maybe taking that extra touch that they shouldn't.
Incredible atmosphere. Ancelotti said it's our duty to travel. We have fans everywhere. We must give them what they want. They've given it tonight. They're trying to give them more. Somebody's making the run.
Carlo Ancelotti say that with the accountant. I'm not sure which one.
They could be both, right?
Of course.
There's been a lot of talk about his future, whether he's going to stay at Real Madrid. Ancelotti saying he's very happy to have him, but doesn't know if he will be here.
And of course, Ancelotti's happy to have him because it makes the squad stronger, but Asensio as a player has to want to play multiple minutes in every single game, and you don't see where he fits in, certainly not in terms of a starting lineup, as the best 18 or the best 20 for sure. Keeps Ancelotti happy, but not the player you would have thought.
We've got an incredible overview of this stadium. So many great nights here in multiple different sports.
That we're witnessing here, Keith, it's quite remarkable that this is, let's not forget, a pre-season friendly.
Camavinga, Vasquez, Asensio staying out wide. Comes inside Camavinga, really attacking midfield position. Mbappé. Ball regulars letting you know who they're here to cheer on tonight. Madrid is the champ. They've won the ball well here. Rodrigo has got two inside. Hazard is trying to twist and turn and get it back on his stronger foot. Just hasn't worked out for him yet as a Real Madrid player. He had that moment when they won the title. He grabbed the microphone and he said, next year you'll see the real me.
And we haven't yet. We haven't seen the Hazard of Chelsea, that's for sure. And we want to, because we know how talented he is. But again, this is a talented squad. It's a talented starting 11. It'll be hard for him to work his way into this side. Certainly, unless his form shines a little more.
Quadrado. Rugani. Getty's come on for Leonardo Bonucci at the back. Rovella picked up that holding midfield role. In the area of the field that Juventus need the most work in heading into the Serie A season. And the ball in the attacking area here, can they make it count? Rugani just trying to twist and turn and fashion a shot on goal. Madrid can't play the way out of trouble, they've done just that. Vasquez.
Confidence in these Real Madrid players, whether it's the starting 11, whether it's the 12 to 22 who come in next. It's quite remarkable. They're all fully confident not only in their own ability, but in their teammates.
It's being serenaded now by the fans inside the Rose Bowl. You don't want to be the player to give it away. Asensio. They still haven't. How many passes is this? Too many.
Well, it's been so many passes that the fans are now bored of saying Ole. It's been remarkable. Yes, they've now given it away, but they try and win it back so quickly, Keith. That's the beauty of it for me. They want the ball, they covet it, and then when they lose it, they work so hard to get it back again.
Asensio took his eye off it, still managed to win it, and the referee says it just went over on the chance. It's going to be a yellow card here for the goal scorer.
Yeah, and I think he knew, Asensio. I think he did go a little bit over the top of the ball on Cuadrado. Exactly on top of the ball. Took ball, yes. It's a tackle you could have got away with a few years ago. But he went over the ball knowing that the studs was going to just catch the opposition player in Cuadrado.
Asensio was on the score sheet back in 2017 as well. They don't just keep the mainstays around, they keep some of those fringe players who are so important over the course of a season.
And I think that tells you how good it is to be around the Real Madrid team, of course, as well. Because the fringe players can be kept happy too. A fringe player for 4 or 5 years and you still stay and remain. Must be a great atmosphere, of course, to play for this Real Madrid side. Not just play for them, to be on the training ground every day, to be at such a massive club. And when your chance comes as well, like in big finals, even if it's just for 10-15 minutes, you then shine as well.
Okay. Quadrado. The perspective for Juventus is this has been a Real Madrid side trying to prove a point. Rodrigo trying to get in behind. Really good challenge.
Magnificent man from Gatti. Just used a little bit of pace and then more so than that, a little bit of strength as well. Just leaving Rodrigo off the ball.
Rugani does well to hold on to that. Gets it into Pellegrini. Now back for Rovella. High line defensively from Real Madrid, but Juventus unable to penetrate.
Pace at the back as well, don't they, too? Not worried, keeping that high line.
I think a lot of people, Matty, have been mesmerised or taken by the amount of new signings we've seen at Barcelona, the amount of money spent, but we're seeing tonight Real Madrid are still going to be the team to beat in La Liga.
Yeah, but Barcelona have spent all that money. Barcelona are 10 billion in debt. They better win now. That's the trouble. You're that much in debt. You gamble that much on those big name players coming in. You spend money you haven't got. You sell off rights to the famous Camp Nou. You sell off TV rights for years to come. You better now catch up Real Madrid and overtake them.
Quadrado. The Graka. Little turn. Trying to just play it across. Not bad play from the 20-year-old. Ball back with Rugani. Rovella. One of these Juve players have shown well since coming on. Another good cross! Two trying to get on the end of it. The Graka appealing there was a handball in there, I think. Might have been a touch off a Real Madrid defender as well.
Yeah, just could have been claiming that he was fouled at this near post area. It looks like a sliding tackle coming in from Rudiger. He's claiming, I think, that he was possibly caught. But yeah, look, Rudiger applied the pressure. And 85.5 minutes in, no shots on target still for the Italian team.
So the Juve fans at home will be happy that you reminded them of it. Quadrado. Soler going out wide, the corner towards the far post. And I'll tell you what, I don't think Camavinga knew too much about that. Flicked off his foot, out of play for another corner.
Very fortuitous. It could have gone anywhere from Camavinga. It comes through a whole crowd of players. You saw the ball very late. He couldn't even react. Just clips off the top of that right foot, goes behind.
Pellegrini. Quadrado has made his way all way across it. He's going to take it. He's full rank on Pellegrini. see if it was worth the trek out there. Rather, header up that near post defensively, and Rodrigo. It's not well to hold on to it. Now they have options on the counter. Camavinga. So instrumental in coming on in some of those games in that Champions League run. He saw the face of Toni Kroos a few times where he didn't want to come off, but it worked out for Carlo Ancelotti.
Well, I like him, Camavinga. He's already a good player, but he's only going to get better. He's so confident on the ball. He doesn't try and do the hard things either, Camavinga. He always tries to keep possession. Of course, he tries to look forward first, but he's confident. A wonderful left foot. And that willingness to get forward after as well.
Right on cue with that pass. Tchouameni. Vasquez. Alejo. Nacho. Last couple of minutes here. Real Madrid. Goal in each half. Benzema in the first. Asensio in the second. And we're trying to get Asensio in again. Plays it back, and the goalkeeper, unsure of himself for a moment. Pinsolio just about got that away.
Yeah, I can tell you he's quietly confident in his own ability, but you saw just a little bit of insecurity, I think, from the keeper, and also still the high press. We know it's not the team that's played for all 90 minutes, but it's still willing to press even at 2-0 up Real Madrid.
Cross, Vasquez.